Okay. All right. Welcome to this class. Okay. Um, Remember the last class we did some .NET development as what you call it
We did
uh,
Visual Basic, right?
with the C# coding.
Yes, the coding. I installed Visual Basic, but like you had all the add-ons, I didn't have it, so it's taking me a lot of time. It's not. It's it does it have to be all the add-ons like it asked me in the starting? Should I install all the add-ons?
What do you mean by all the add-ons?
Meanings that it was asking me for the it had other installs, like it wanted me to install other stuff as well for the Visual Studio.
Okay. Okay. So you did install Visual Studio, but it asked you to install extra things on the add-on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Uh, Generally, the default Visual Studio installation should work. I don't think you need to add any other add-ons. And as long as if you go to File, New Project, and
I
if
did
you
went there, but it gave me a new project, but it wasn't going for the C sharp part. So I went again and I started downloading everything.
didn't insert the C#, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm not sure. Maybe I can troubleshoot later on after this class and let you know, help you out there. Um, but Yeah, usually by default it should you should be able to see this. But if you're not seeing this, then maybe your installation, something went wrong in your installation. Uh,
Maybe. I'll do it again.
yeah, yeah. But I can what you call it? We can go through this after class or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, since what do you call it? The last time we had a class, we did a bit of we had a database linked to Azure. Okay. Now that database has expired now because it was a 4 weeks trial. So because I created an account through Azure, so I may as well show you a bit what Azure is. If you look here, this is Azure. Um, okay. And here in Azure, you can create SQL database. You can do many things, but my focus here will be on SQL database if you ever want to do this in the future. There's even Active Directory here where you can create what you call it, user accounts, users and groups, and things like that. Okay. But here I created a database called what you call it, TestDB. Okay. And if you want to create a new database, you just click on Add and give your database a name. So you can call this TestDB2.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Microsoft Azure and we installed a SQL server before? What's the difference? What's the
Okay. So your database Azure is in the cloud. Okay. So think of all your computer server. Okay. So when you install SQL Server, okay, you need a machine. You need a computer server to install SQL Server and then run that within the company network. Right. You need a physical machine. All right. Or sometimes they call it a virtual machine, which you have as well, like VMware. Okay. This Azure, what Azure does, it creates the database for you in the cloud. So you don't need to have a physical server there. You just need to have an Azure account. It creates the database for you. Okay. And then basically what you call it, then you can connect with your what you call it in your SQL Management Studio, you can connect to the database. You can see here database window.net. This is the database name. So if I show you the database, so if we go here, we've got the test DB here that I just created. Okay, and here we got the server name of the database, where it's located. Sorry, the server name, and like all these information. The main thing is the server name. When I create a database, if we create a new database, I'll just call this test DB2. Let me go ahead and create this database if I can. We have a database, what you call it, select source. No, this is a blank database. The resource group, I created a group here called test group. The database server, this is with the physical server that's in the cloud. I've created one called Hypertaz DB server. Hypertaz is my email address, so I just called it Hypertaz DB server. So if we have a look at this, yeah, I'm not sure if we can have a look at it directly, but if you want to create a new server, I'll just show you. You can go here, create your database server. Okay, then this server is hosted in the cloud. Okay, so you can call this Bob and whatever, but it has to be a unique name. So like that doesn't exist right now in the server. So like this name didn't exist. So if I call mine Hypertaz DB server 2, that name should exist. You see, it has a tick sign there. Then you give your what you call it, you create a login and you create a password for the server. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then so going back here, we just select the Hypertaz as a server, and let's create one. So we're creating test DB2. Okay. So this database is now created in the cloud. Okay. So it's just loading. Let it load. And I'll try to connect to this one right now, test DB. So if we go here, and let me just log in here. I was having issues before. Let me just sign in. All right, I'm in. Okay, so this is the new database. So the other database we created was last time that got erased. So this is the new database. Okay, so there's testDB, and we just create a new one, testDB2. Did you see that, sister?
Yes.
All right. So basically, yeah, if you want to create more database, you just have to go in here and just create new database, and then you can and it connects it. So this database is hosted in the cloud, in Azure. Okay, and you can host websites and everything in here as well. Okay, so I don't want to go too much in this. This course is not about Azure. Maybe I'll show you quickly. You can create resource, and you can maybe create a web app or web server or something like that. There's yeah, you can create what you call it. You can play around with this and investigate yourself. This course is not about Azure, so yeah. So that, but what I would regarding the database, this is what I want to show you in Azure about the database. So we have, I just created the test DB2. All right, so there's a test DB2 there. Okay. So what I'll show you here is quickly how to insert data from, last time I showed you was how to retrieve data from the database and show it onto the onto the website. Okay, obviously this code would not work anymore because the database doesn't exist. The connection string doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So what we need to do is we need to change the connection string to this new database. Okay. So what we can do is okay. So what we'll do here is we'll we'll quickly create a small table. We'll create a table called customer, and we'll just give it 2-3 columns. And I'll show you how to do an insert in here. Okay, so we create a new table. So we'll just call customer ID. Make this the primary key. Integer. We'll have first name in varchar 50, last name in varchar 50, and let's just say first name, last name, and phone in varchar. That can be 20 as well, but I'll just leave it as 50. But it can be 20 if you want to do 20 or something like that. It can be 20. You can only allow 20 characters in the phone. Obviously, a phone number would never exceed 50 characters, obviously. But yeah, we'll just leave it as 20. And we'll have the address. Okay, we'll make this nvarchar 4000. Okay, so we'll save this. We'll call this customer. All right, we have a customer table here. If we refresh, we have a customer table. All right, currently it's blank because there's no data in there. All right, if we go to Programmatic, it's just loading. So there's no data in here. Okay, but it's created the columns and everything. Okay, so let's create a stored procedure and insert stored procedure. So for what we'll do, I'll just close this. We'll right click customer and we'll go script and we'll go insert and we'll create a new query. Okay, with this data we can, sorry, I forgot to do one thing. If I just go here, right click design. I'm just in the customer table again. I forgot to set the increment. So here for the customer ID, I'm just going to set the increment to 1. For identity incrementation. All right, save. Save change means you have to be able to drop code. Let me Google this quickly. Okay, just 1 second. Right tools, options, design. Unchips that. Okay, now I'll try to save this again. Yep, I can save changes now. Okay, so this is a primary key. So if I just, you could see here when I created a new script, it added custom ID. Now if I change this again, if I go here and go right click, script, insert, well, let me just give this a refresh. Right, we'll go in the database table, make a diagram. We'll go in the database table, right click, script, insert, new query, no longer has the customer ID here because that's an incremental number. So let's just test this. We'll first name, we'll call it, what you call it, Donald. Last name, we'll call this Trump. Phone number, we'll call this 999, and address, we'll call this 20 George Street, Sydney. Okay, so if we execute this, one row affected. Now if we go right click and look at customer right now again, there's a row in here. Okay, so this was the insert query. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create a stored procedure. So if we go here, right click, these are system stored procedures, ignore that. So let's create a new one, new stored procedure, and we'll add this insert query here. Okay, and we'll give this a name, dbo dot add customer. All right, so how much parameters we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters. So first parameter is first name. So we'll add a parameter, first name in varchar 50. Next parameter, we'll add last name. Just so you know, you can call the parameter name anything. You can call this Bob if you wanted to. Oh, sorry. You can even call this @Bob. It doesn't matter. But obviously, you want a parameter name that makes sense. Okay. We'll have @phone in varchar 50, and we'll have address in varchar 50. All right. Just for information purposes, I can say who's the author. So I'll say has created on. So it's created on the 19th, 08, 2018 at 10:57 a.m. Description: this adds customer. All right, let's execute. All right, stored procedure created. Okay. So now if we run this stored procedure, if we go here, I'll just create a, I'll just delete this query. I'll just create another query. So here, if we go here, execute, add customer. So we provide the parameter name. So the first name, we know the first parameter is first name. So we go here, first name is Imran. Next parameter, last name, Khan. Okay, and phone number, so 7, 8. All right, and address, we'll say here, Brisbane, something, right? Brisbane, Queensland. Like, yeah, obviously the address should be more detailed, but just for these purposes, I'll just create that. And we'll execute this, so we'll execute it. And it's done. So if we do another select query, we got, oh geez, actually, you can see here, it created Donald Trump again. Okay, so something went wrong. It should have, this should be Imran Khan, A8, Brisbane, Queensland. So what happened is, let's go back to the store procedure. In here, we had to specify the parameter value. So if we go here, first name, we go here, first name, last name, phone, address. All right. Now, if I execute this, it'll give me an error because it's saying that add customer already exists. There's already a store procedure called add customer. So we have to change this from create to alter procedure. Now it works. Okay. Let's do this again. Let's create another customer, Imran Khan. Okay. Let's execute. And let's run this again. Now Imran Khan is there. Did you see that, Fatima sister?
Yes.
All right. So maybe if I can, I'll get rid of this one here because this is a duplicate. So I'll just right click, edit. And I'll just get rid of this one. Delete. All right, so we have two records, okay? Now let's say if we wanted to insert this via the website. Okay, so what we'll do here is, what you call it? All right, I'll create a folder here. Add a folder in the website. This is the previous project that this is the previous Visual Studio project that we had last week. Okay, so I'm just using the same project. So if we call this customer, and we'll create a web page here called add customer. All right, so we've got add customer here. We can just right click, set this as startup page. All right, so by default, I'll just create a header here, add customer. So if we go to the split view, we have add customer here, okay? So if we play this, those buildings. What's the error? Oh, okay. The folder name is conflicting with the class name that we created last time. Oh, let me just do one thing quickly. Let me delete this. And let me delete this. I'll call this a new folder. I'll call this well, what should I call this? I'll call this customer details. Actually, I won't call that either because I'll call this cus detail. All right, let's add a new let's add our classic. Let's add our web page again. Web page. All right. Page 1, more detail. Sorry, I should have set this as start page. All right, customer details. It's just loading. Customer details of form 1. Customer details, okay? Obviously, this web page name, you would probably give it more informative name, like ad or something. Actually, I'll do that here. Let me just delete this quickly again. I'll right click. I'll call this web page. I'll call it add customer to be more informative. Add customer. Okay, here we are. So set a startup page. So we'll add a header here again. H1. We'll call this add customer. Okay. Then what we do is we add all our text boxes and labels. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll create a just create a table. All right. We'll create a table. Table row, TR table row. We'll create a table header, and we'll call this first name. Okay. And we'll create a table header, and we'll add the text box. Server ID txt first name. All right. Okay, so that I showed you that through code. Let's do this through the interface. If we go TR, sorry, this shouldn't be TD. This should be T. This shouldn't be TH. This should be TD. 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 Okay. So TD last name. TD. And what we can do here is we can add the we can add the text box. Where's the text box? Text box. All right. We'll call this txt last name. And we did that here. Okay, so I basically coded that here. And here we could, I added it as the, from the toolbox. So it did the code a bit for me. Okay, so obviously TD, if this is written like this or written like this, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if there's a break line in there. It's the same thing. Okay. Next, we'll have the table row. So now I can just copy this. I'll paste this. We'll have the phone. We'll call this txt phone. Okay. And last, we'll have the address. Sorry. call this address. We'll call this txt address. And here we'll specify Xbox. I think there's multi-line or something like that. Maybe specify multi-line. Just 1 second. Let me Google it. Let's Google it. Xbox multi-line. Here we go, text mode multi-line. Okay, so I'll go here, text mode multi-line. Okay, and then last thing we need to have is a submit button. Okay, so got another row. To the another TD there. So the ASP button run at server ID btn submit and give it a text value of submit.
Can we use the toolbox for the select button?
Can we use the toolbox for what, sorry?
For the select button, the button we can use this toolbox.
To create the button? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show you?
No, I'm just asking. You were doing the coding, so I was thinking, why didn't you use the toolbox for
toolbox? Yeah, I mean, I'm a website developer, so I've been coding most of them, like my 10 years. So I'm used to the coding. So, but you can do that. You can where's the button?
It's in the top.
Yeah, there you go. And you can add that and we'll create a button for you. Okay, I'll show you if you want. I'll show you quickly. Create a button. All right, so we've got another TD here. We'll add that button. All right, we dragged it across. Okay, we've got a button here. We'll just call it btn cancel and cancel. Okay. All right, so so now let's play this here. Okay. So we've got our uni form here. Okay. Obviously, if we do anything right now, we clicked on submit button, it will do nothing. And because this is not set up to the database. Okay. Now, if we go here, we'll quickly, what we'll do here is we'll link it to the database now. Okay, so what we'll do is to get our connection string, we'll create a SQL data source. So we go here, data, SQL data source. Okay, and we'll get the connection string, we'll configure the data source. This is the old connection string we had with the old Azure database, which has expired, so we're not using that. So we'll create a new connection. And we'll call this server. Let's get the server name. So this is the server name. SQL authentication. I'll just put my credentials here. And we should be able to connect to the database. Test DB, test connection success. Okay. Next. Test DB2. Okay, connection string. We might give it a proper name like test DB. Hypertas. That's just my email address one, so Hypertas. Next. All right, which database, which table when you have that one table customer. Next. We can test the query. All right. Okay, finish. All right, if we look at our web.config, we have the test DB2 connection string here. Okay, all that information. User ID and Hassan and the password. Okay, so what we do here, we're in add customer. So now what we need to do is we can get rid of this SQL data source now because we don't need it. It created the connection string for us, so we can just go ahead and delete this. So just go right click, delete, and it's deleted it for us. Okay, now let's go in the submit form. Okay, now we double click submit form and it came to this event. Okay, so just showing you, if we look at the submit form code button, button submit click, and if we go to the code behind, button submit click. Okay, so now what we've got to do is we've got to put the data, we've got to put the values in that what you call it, that first name, last name, phone, address. Okay, so we'll go here. So okay, I did some SQL query here before in the last right in the last one. Let me just have a look at this one. Okay, let me just grab this. What was it? Hold on. Order details. Yeah, let me grab this. All right, so I'll paste this code here, and I'll just got to modify a bit. So the SQL connection, I'll just enable the namespace. Configuration manager enabled using system.configuration. Test DB2. So what did we call our connection string? Here's our connection string. So we called it test DB Hypertas. So we go here, Hypertas. SQL command. So our SQL command was add customer. Okay, the data type stored procedure. Okay, the parameter value. So we have 4 parameters. We go here, we have first name. So here, first name, SQL DB type using system.data. Okay, in voucher. First name value is txt. First name dot text. Okay, that's the this text box name. Dot text means the text value in the text box. Okay, so we'll add all the other parameters. This last name. Sorry. I'm a copy paste guy, so I'll just copy paste. Copy paste. So txt last name dot text. Phone txt phone dot text. Address. Txt address dot text. All right, we'll open the connection string. Now, this was populating. This was getting data from the database, so we don't need to do that. We're not retrieving any data here. We're just doing a pure insert. Okay, so we're not retrieving data here, so we don't need this. And we'll just go here, cmd dot execute non-query, and this was the grid view with the other code. We don't need it. We don't have a grid view here, and we'll do connection dot close. All right, now let's test this. Hopefully this should work. If I did everything right. Okay, so let's run this. Select set startup page. We'll set a breakpoint here, and let's run. So just remember, we had two records here in the. Just 1 second. We had two records here. In here, we had Donald Trump. We had Imran Khan. Okay. So now we add another customer. We'll call this here whose name should we use? We'll call this here Barack Obama 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and the address will be here 30 Liverpool Street, Sydney, New South Wales. Let's submit form. Okay, so it's come down to this line. Let's go line by line. I'm just pushing the F11 button here. You can push this one here as well, step over, or the step into. Okay, the first name value is Barack. Okay, txt.firstname.text, Barack. All right, the last name, Obama. Okay, so keep on stepping into. The phone number, 777. The address, Liverpool Street. All right, let's run. Okay, done. It's inserted it. Okay, and if we refresh this, I'll just take out this code here. If we refresh this, there you go, Barack Obama. Did that make sense, Fatima, sister?
Yes.
All right. So that's how you do an insert query into the database. Okay. All right. So that's the first part of this, tutorial, right? Now, the next part, the first part of this class. So the next part, I will show you the concepts in computer programming. Okay. So here we have So let's just create a, what you call it, let's just identify how to create variables and all that stuff and all that information. So if I just create a new folder here called examples. All right, we'll right click, add new item. So first thing I'll show you in the web form, we'll call this loops. Okay, so I'll show you how to do loops in .NET. Okay, so the first thing here is you got an empty web page, loops. All right, and let's just create a button here. So button here, just create it here. btn. I won't be bothered changing the ID and stuff. I'll just change the text. I'll just say loop me. Okay, loop. Okay, let's go on to the button. Okay, now why you would do loop is, for example, if you have multiple items in a list or something like that, then you'll do a loop. Okay, so I'll show you. Let's create a list. You can create a list here. List. Let's just show you the data types here. Okay, first string. So string is a text value. Okay, so if we go string first name, then you put in double quotes and we'll go hello world, and then if we do response dot write first name. Okay, so we'll just set this as startup page. Set a breakpoint here. Okay, we've got loop me. So we have a string value, hello world, and it'll write hello world. Okay, now if we change this to an integer, int, and let's compile it now. Let's go right click, build solution. It's going to give us an error. Okay, it should give us an error. It shouldn't compile. Cannot convert string to an int. Okay, it's just you gave the data type of first name an integer, and then you specified the value as a string, as a text, right? And it's saying it doesn't recognize that. It's saying that look, it's saying first name is an integer. How can you give it a value of a text, right? So you have to give it as an integer value. So if we make this like 10, now it's an integer value. Okay, now if we run it, now it should compile. Okay, 10. Okay, so those are the data types. Now if we change this again, if we change this to date time, and let's play again, it should give us an error. It's saying that look, this is a date time, the first name variable is a date time. How can you have the value 10? Cannot convert integer to date time. Okay, so we have to change this to date time dot now. That's a date time value. Now meaning like the current date time. And if we play this, all right, it's given the date time value. Okay, so again, there's many data types. There's date time, there's decimal, which has decimal points. But these are the main one: int, string, decimal, date time. Okay, so let's do one thing now. Let's go here and let's do a loop. Okay, let's create a list of values. List string. Okay, so we'll call this here my list, and we'll give it a new instance, new list. Okay, we have the parameter values here. Just ignore those. Just do this here, and then we'll go here my list dot add, and we'll add the first value here. We'll call this here. Actually, we'll call this my country list. Okay, so the my country list dot add Australia, my country list dot add India, my country list dot add UAE, and my country list dot add Turkey. Okay, so now this is a list of this list is a collection. It's like an array, which I explained in the previous tutorial a long time ago, and you added 4 items in this array. So if we just debug, I'll show you. Right, loop. Okay, so my country count, you can see the count list. Now there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Okay, so we look, it's an array: Australia, India, UAE, Turkey. Okay, now if we do a response.write, response.write my country list, and we'll play that here, it should give us an error, hopefully, I believe. No, it's compiling. It shouldn't work properly, I believe. No. Let's test this. Should throw an error here. No, it's not. Okay, it's showing this value here: generic list collection system.string. That's just telling you what this list is, okay, what type of list this is. But it's not showing you the country names: Australia, India, UAE, Turkey. Okay, we need to show Australia, UAE, Turkey, and India, right? So to do that, we would have to do a loop. Okay, we'll go here, for each string value, so we'll call this country or country item in my country list. All right, and we'll take this response.write inside the loop, and we'll, instead of my country list, we'll make a country item. Now let's have a see. Now let's see if this works. All right, let's play it. Loop. All right, let's add country. So we have 4 countries. Now we're doing a for each loop inside it. So the country item, the first country item value is Australia. So response.write Australia. The second country item is India. Response.write India. The third is UAE, and the fourth is Turkey. All right, done. There you are. You have Australia, India, UAE, Turkey. Did you get that, Fatima, sister?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, okay. You can also do another loop. So that's a for each loop. There's another loop called the for loop. For int I, which equals 0. Okay, I, which is lower than my country list dot length dot count. Sorry. Okay, so the count, this count value would be equal to 4 int I plus plus. Okay, let's see if that works. Yep. Okay, so we have a variable called I, an integer variable. We give it the default value of 0. Then we say this one here is when I is always less than equal to the count value of this my country list. So the count value in this case is 4. There's 4 values. There's 4 items in this list. Okay, and then I plus plus is an increment. It just increments every time in the loop. Okay, so if we go here, response dot write my country list dot I. Here we specify I. So this is, so I'll just show you here. We just go here. It's telling the index. I'm saying it's the I index because the I is looping all the time. Okay. Well, let me show you something first. Let me change this to 0. 0 index. Okay. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Or actually, let me just string country name and we'll specify 0 and response.write country name. All right. So what are we going to expect from here? So what we should expect is we should expect that because it's we in the my country 0 we specify the array value of 0. Okay. So all the value should always be Australia. Okay.
Yes.
So if we go here, let's just double check here. And obviously that's not correct, right? We'll just play it just to show you. loop, right? Okay. All right, my country name is Australia. Okay, that's the first loop. My country name again is Australia. It's always picking up the first value. Okay, but if you see the I value, let's just see the I. The I is always incrementing. I is 2, and then 3, and then 4. Okay, so it was only, sorry, let me just do that again. Sorry, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have closed the browser. So if we go back here and run the loop again, so it's only showing Australia. Okay, so that's not right. It is looping 4 times, but it's only picking up the first record. So as soon as we change that to I,
then it will increment.
then it will increment and loop. Okay, so let's play this again. Actually, break it here. Right, loop. Country name, Australia. Okay, so I, it was 0, I is now 1. Country name, India. I is now 2. Country name, UAE. I is now 3. Country name, Turkey. And that's it. Australia, India, UAE, Turkey. Okay. Now, if we want to create a class with this, all right, let's quickly create a class. So if we go right here, we'll add new item, we'll create a class. And we'll call this country. All right, we'll add up properties here, public, string, country name, get set, and we'll add another property here called country, let's say we had a country code. All right. Now we have a country object here, all right, and we want it to loop in the country. Okay, so we go back here in loop. Now instead of a list string, we make this a list country. Okay. Country being this class here, country. Okay. If we go back here. And then we go add new item. So we'll add, we can go this way, we can do this here, we can go here.
How about we take the country names from the user? Like if we ask the user from the website, what's the country name? So
yeah, okay, so we could do this. So if we go here and we specify so we'll just quickly create a table here. Table here, country name 1. We'll give this a text box. text box, server ID, txt country 1. Here. Correct. Table TR. Oh, TR. Sorry, I did something wrong. TR and then TD. TD. And this TD. There we go. Okay, country name 1. Okay. So let's add all the other countries. Let's add country name 2. We'll add country name 2. TXT country 2. Country name 3. TXT country 3. Country name 4. TXT country 4. All right. Actually, one thing I did wrong. Okay. Why didn't it open it the first one? Okay. I should add country code here as well. So go here. TD country code 1. Big text box, run it. Server ID txt country code 1. Okay. Let's add it here. Country code 2. Country 2. Country code 3. TXT country code 3. Country code 4. TXT country code 4. All right. Up in here. TD. Why is this space here? Anyway, I don't know why there's a space here, but yeah. So if we play this now, we'll have the let me just take up the code and start compiling and just throw all this out. All right, country code 1, country code 2, country name 1, country code 1, country name 2, country code 2, country name 3, country code 3, country name 4, country code 4. Okay. So if we wanted to do a loop, well, right now nothing's happening. All right, so we're doing nothing. But if we want to display that, for example, okay, so what we'll do, we had created an object called country. All right, then what we'll do here, let me just take out this code. My country list. What we can do here, we can go here, country equals here new country. I'll just call this here. Okay. Okay. Well, country item because he new country, and we go here country item dot country code, country name is Australia. Oh, sorry, not country name. Is txt dot country one dot text. Okay, so that's the first country one value. Country item dot country code txt country code one dot text, and then go here my country list dot add country item. What's happening here? All right. So if we do a for each loop in my country list, so if we obviously this wouldn't. If we go back to here, the string one here, if we go, this wouldn't work here because it's no longer a string. It's the object is a country. Country, so country item from my country list. All right, and country item dot country name. Actually, we'll do it here. Country item dot country name plus space. Actually, we'll call this the country name space country code space, and we'll go here country item dot country code, and then we'll add a breakpoint here. Breakpoint. Okay. So if we compile this, what's happening here? A local parameter name country item cannot be declared in the scope because the name is using closing scope. Oh. Why isn't it allowing? This is how it should be done. For some reason, it's not allowing. Okay, there's a country item here. I have a country item here. Okay. Now, because I have the name as country item, we've got to call this the name can't be the same. So country record, country record, country record, country record. Here we are. Okay, because this was also called country name. This was also called country name that was causing the conflict. So if we play here, we'll set a breakpoint. Okay, so we'll call this here Australia. Country code here AUS. We'll call this here India. Country code here IND. Now, if we look here, it's only going to pick up Australia because we only did the first one. Okay, this is the first value here. The country code is here, AUD. And it's adding the country item. So the country item, AUD, Australia. And it's doing a for each loop. Country name, Australia. Country code, AUD. Okay. So.
Why didn't it show India?
Yeah, because you only added the first one. So if you
didn't prevent it, right?
What you got to do if you want to get India, you go here.
For the you said for the I plus the for one.
No, it's not that. It's not the I plus plus. We didn't specify. Now we specify country 2. India is country 2.
Okay.
All right. And then the next value is country 3. And the next value is country 4. All right, now let's run it again. So type in here Australia, AUD, India, IND, Pakistan, PAK, and let's just say Iran, IRA. Okay, so we'll run this. Okay, so it's picking up the first country code, Australia, AUD. It's adding it into the list item. So there's none in here, and as soon as we go here, there's one in there. Okay, as soon as we run the code. Okay, it's adding country 2, India. Okay, and country list item, there's none here. As soon as we add it, there's 2 items here, Australia and India. Country 3 is Pakistan. Okay, it's added there, and country 4 is Iran, and it's added there. Then now it's doing a loop. Country name, first one is Australia, second one is India with the country code, third is Pakistan, and fourth is Iran. You see that?
Yes.
Yep, okay, cool. All right, so it's nearly 12 o'clock here. I'll just explain the last thing here and then we'll wrap it up. I'll be upfront with you, I couldn't cover everything in this whole course. But the one thing I'll show you is inheritance, okay? So let's go to examples. Let's create a class here called animal. All right, animal is a class. All right, what does an animal have? So, one of the objects of an animal is a public string legs. All right, animals has legs, all right, or leg count. Okay. What else so how does animal talk? So we'll create a what you call it, a function here So we'll call these public, what you call it? Actually, instead of a public, we should make it protected because it's inheriting. Protected. We'll call it. We'll give this a function here. Protected string talk. All right. How does it talk? Okay. And yeah, we could so how you do it? Protected string talk. So return. Actually, I think it can be like that. Protected string talk. All right, let's just make this a return talk like, and we'll give this a string value here. This is the parameter values. Talk like animal name. Talk like animal name. We'll do that. All right, and what else does an animal have? So animal has a leg count. Just go protected string. Actually, if it's a count, int. So it's hand count. How many hand count? All right, so this is an animal class. All right, so animal itself can be, it's a very, ambiguous, it could be a cat, could be a dog, it could be a emu. All right, so what you do is, so you can go in the loop here and you can go here animal, and you can specify animal here and all that stuff, but it doesn't make sense because animal can be anything, right? So what you do here, you create another class here called dog. All right. The dog currently doesn't have any properties. Okay. So if I go here, and if I go here, let me just take out this code. If I go here, dog, my dog equals new dog. If I go here, my dog dot, there's no properties there. Okay, these are just default functions, but there's no properties. If I want to go my dog dot leg count, I can't see it. Okay, but as soon as I go here and I'll go dog inherits, this thing is inherits animal. All right, and then we go here, we go my dog dot, right? My dog. Wait 1 second. Let me just make this a public for a sec. All right, my dog, my dog, here we go. Hand count, leg count, and talk. Okay. So my dog talks like a bark, dog bark, whatever. This is just an example I'm giving. My dog dot hand count is equal to, I think it doesn't have any hands, it just has legs, right? So there's my dog dot leg count is 4. Okay, and you can go on and specify about the dog. All right, now let's say if we have a bird. All right, we have a class called bird. All right, the bird also inherits the animal. All right, okay, and then you can specify in your function here. You can go here, like you can go here wings, right? So the bird has extra functions called here, like so, string. Oh, sorry, the int wing count get set. All right. So if we go here, bird. All right, let's go here. Bird, my bird equals here new bird. So my bird dot hand count, leg count. Does it have wing count? Oh, it should have wing count. My bird doesn't have wing count. Oh, we have to make it public. Public wing count. All right. So my bird dot, it has a wing count there. Okay. My bird hand count doesn't have any hands. My bird dot hand leg count has 2 legs. My bird dot talk talks like a, I don't know, parrot or emu, whatever, or like even just, you can just call it talks like a parrot. And my bird dot wing count 2. Did you see the inheritance there? Did you understand that a bit, Fatima, sister?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You can also do implementations. You can, the last thing I'll leave it here, we can create here, we can go here, new item, we'll create a, what you call it, interface. Where is it? Interface. Is there an interface here? Interface. So we'll call this here by animal. All right. We'll make this a public interface. With interface, you can only specify the function name. You cannot add functions to it. I'll show you what I mean. So he will have int, or was it public? Oh no, int. What you call it? Leg count. And we'll just go here. We'll just go here. String dot talk. Okay. All right. So if we go here, we'll go here, add new item. We'll create a class here. We'll call this a cat. All right. The cat can implement by animal. When it implements that, implement interface, and then the cat has these function attributes attached to the interface. Okay, and then you can specify your functions and stuff here. You can research more about interface and implementation and all that stuff. Okay, I think because it's 12:10, we'll wrap it up. Is there any questions you want to ask?
No, not right now.
Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, so that's about it. If there's any questions, I believe I've taught enough to cover the course. But if there's anything I've missed, then just give me just let me know, and then I could let you guys know. If there's any questions you guys have, just let me know, and then we'll go from there. Cool?
Cool.
All right, thanks for that, System. All right, see ya. Salam, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for the class.
That's okay. So, bye.